So the difference between Yarisi that sells rice at the junction for 1,000 naira and Chicken Republic is what?
Is education?
It is, because you understand you're trying to solve problems at scale, right? And for you to do that, you need to understand ecosystems. How do I source my materials? How do I have a recipe? How do I make sure that it is consistent? Because if I'm going to have 20 branches, where each branch will serve 50, 100, 1,000 people. Yarisi is not making a lot of money, not because she doesn't have good gross margin. Her gross margin might be 50%. She can spend 20,000 naira to cook food and make 40,000 naira. But the challenge, she's selling to only 50 people.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bumele Shlai again, and we have Alex Goma in the house.
It's my pleasure to be here.
There is FX.
Salutations, always present.
The man
present,
with the
sir.
boys.
You get me, sir? How far now?
I beg you not go use this voice collect my girlfriend.
I don't think that thing works anymore.
It does. What?
No, that was in the 90s.
No, I've seen cases where girls say,
Bro,
I
nah,
love
lie.
your voice.
A babe has given me a compliment. That I love your voice. She did that same thing till today. Where is
But
she?
FX without
I've never
FX.
taken her.
Hmm.
Without the
FX
effects.
without
Alex!
FX.
Oh, God!
Oh,
I
FX
like that.
without
FX.
Oh,
You get me?
That's a good one, I think. Okay, so how's the day been?
It's been good. Started with church online because I didn't wake up in time to go for the real church. Then did a few things. I have a class tomorrow, so I just cleaned up my notes. Then a bit of golf, and then after that, having a conversation.
Did you play football yesterday? You
Yes,
didn't
I
play?
did. I
Oh,
did.
you did?
Yes.
Somewhere else?
Yes, in Yaba, because
Oh.
I arranged that earlier. Yeah.
Oh, so I didn't tell you guys, this guy is a good footballer, especially defensive. Am I
I played football with him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
I
to.
did. I suffered, man. Alex was all over me.
Nice.
He was all over me. But
All over you
I'm saying
on
pursuing
the
me
football
everywhere.
pitch. Yeah. Pause. Let's be careful
Oh,
when
okay,
you say
okay.
all over you. You
Sorry,
know.
but
so.
Alex knows what I'm.
Yeah, I know what you're
what I'm talking about. And anyway, this is Urban again.
Yep.
We would like to touch on so many issues affecting us, so many issues that we also enjoy in the urban centers, and then we would like to touch on education. You said you have something to do tomorrow. You have a class.
Yeah, I have
tomorrow.
a class to do. I teach
I was gonna
sometimes
ask that.
at the Lagos Business School. So I'm one of the executives in residence. So I take classes for either senior professionals or working professionals for things that are organized in conjunction with the Lagos Business School.
Oh, really?
Nice.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Nice.
So for me, I like the fact that you raised this because, of course, we didn't even know what we wanted to even talk about today. That's how casual this space can be. We're just having fun. But what's the
Yeah.
relevance of education?
I think I'll use a quote because that's for me is the best definition of education I've come across by Martin Luther King. It says education is to give the ability to think critically and intensely. All right. And so I added my own corollary to say life generally is about choices. All right. Because every day as you grow up, when you be small picking, you face a choice. Your choices are similar. What will I eat? What will I drink? What will I do? And all of that. But as you start to grow, choices become more complex. And how do you make the right decisions in the face of these complex choices? That's where the value of education comes in because it provides the foundation for logical reasoning and for you to make life choices. So I think part of the challenges we've had over here is that we've always tied education to having a certificate and
Become
getting a
successful.
job, rather than realizing that education is a toolkit for managing life. It can be formal, it can be informal. And if you go back historically, not just even in Africa and in other parts of the world before you had formal institutions, people were taught things by apprenticeship. So if your father was a farmer, you became a farmer, you learned how to farm. Your father was a blacksmith, you learned how to be. The babalawo, you learned how to be a babalawo, right? Lawyers, right? If you go back in those days, doctors, basically you learned by being an apprentice.
Apprentice to someone. Yeah.
But that kind of system creates limitations because it's 1-on-1 or 1-on-2 or 1-on-5. You cannot. So where the need arose to now have widespread or give education at scale is why schools came to be. But I think, especially here, I think where we've lost the essence. It's not completely gone, but I think where we've only limited education to the fact that I get a certificate and then I must get a job, rather than recognizing that it's a toolkit for success in life. All right. And therefore it can earn you jobs, but aside from earning you jobs, it can actually help you understand how to solve your problems. And if you solve problems for others, you make money.
But Alex, that's a very good one right there. But I just wanted to pick on what you just said now. Don't you think it's also in these parts of the world that we're in that education is deliberate, that we're not going further to actually, you know, when you have an educated populace, it opens the minds of, it's like an emancipation more or less, and everybody like, oh, so this is what I was missing out on. So don't you think it's like, to those that be, it's deliberately curtailed that we cannot go beyond that part where we now just sit as, oh, this is the, once I have my BSc, for example, I should just get a job and I should just go in line. Unlike, I keep on educating myself, keep on researching, keep on ensuring that every single nook and cranny of the local government area I'm in, everybody's educated there. And I'm helping and developing schools, ensuring that our teachers are well trained and all that. I feel at some point, the leaders of the country decide that, okay, yeah, this is how if we don't, there might be a revolution, or if you understand what I mean, or they might, these people know too much.
I do.
And it will cause problems.
I do, but I tend to disagree because, and this is the way I look at things. I think that is also one of the choices that we have to make. We can either be a victim or we can choose to be a victor. So if I walk around the streets of Lagos, I can tell you, I can show you examples of people who will say that I couldn't go to school, for example, because my parents couldn't afford to. But I know people who, despite the fact that their parents couldn't afford to, they still went to school. I understand the part where, yes, the leaders or the people who were ahead, right, should have probably created the opportunity for everybody to be educated at mass. But I also think that it gets to a point where when you can read and write, basically, and you start to look at life generally, then there's some things you have to take responsibility for. So I think part of our biggest problem is that we have not trained our people to have a sense of responsibility, which might be tied with education, but it's broader than education. Because if you cede responsibility for your life and decisions to other people, then you become a victim.
Okay, so for me, Alex, I feel that the society now is tying relevance of education to success. So you can have all the certificates in this world. If you're not successful enough, people don't see it as anything. Yeah. And
so
that's
what's the definition of success? Because that's where the that's where the challenge comes in.
Thank you. So, for instance, if you ask any young guy, for instance, Gen Z, that how do you measure success?
Why always Gen Z?
No, because they're very intelligent generation.
Yeah,
I
no,
love that.
I'm just
Trust me, I
picking,
do.
but they're a good
I do.
example. to be
Because they will
honest.
question so many things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
Some of us that are millennials, Gen X, baby boomers, we were instructed to go to school.
True.
And because there were moral values then, we had to. This
Yep.
Gen Z will ask you questions. Why do I have to waste my 4 years when I can do 2-3 courses, get
True.
certified, get good job, and earn good money? And that's where the success comes in. You know, when we talk, we say after we finish our school, we have to get a job. So it's still go to success at the end of the day.
Another example.
The
some
new
guys
generation
that's-
will tell you,
Yeah,
that
cryptocurrency.
Dad,
They don't go to school.
I don't think I have to waste that time. Right? Do we need to rewrite the narration, or what do you think?
I think that the nature or the understanding of what education is will evolve. It's always been evolving. But I also think that you have to put the market into context, right, and the situation. So for a lot of the parents or even some of us as we're growing, their way out of poverty was education, because that's what differentiated between those who made it and those who didn't.
Yep.
And which is why they reinforce that. And even till tomorrow, you know what? Let's take some of these fast food restaurants. I remember one of the first ones that started. How did she start? She was almost like a mama put. But she's educated, and guess what? She's built a franchise so the difference between Yarisi that sells rice at the junction for 1,000 naira and Chicken Republic is what?
Is education?
It is, because you understand you're trying to solve problems at scale,
Okay.
right? And for you to do that, you need to understand ecosystems. How do I source my materials? How do I have a recipe? How do I make sure that it is consistent? Because if I'm going to have 20 branches, where each branch will serve 50, 100, 1,000 people. ERC is not making a lot of money, not because she doesn't have good gross margin. Her gross margin might be 50%. She can spend 20,000 naira to cook food and make 40,000 naira. But the challenge, she's selling to only 50 people.
Yeah.
If you want to make money at scale, you have to sell to a lot of people. It's the same thing. I am the Malam who is fixing your shoes. I'm fixing 5 people's shoes. I only make 5 now. If I have to fix 1,000 shoes, then I will have to
scale.
I need to scale. For me to scale, I need to understand systems, ecosystems. So irrespective of whatever you do, right? That's what is going to make it. How I serve, I cook, I sing, I whatever. The more information you have, the better the kind of choices that you make. So there are people, if I look at, let's take sports, right? There are people who have played football for Nigeria and some who played football abroad. What's the difference between some of those and some of those who are still relevant, and if we use the word success today? So we had Shago Dekbami, Adoke Amasemaka, they went to school, they played for the national team.
Yeah.
Adoke was a lawyer. At a point, I remember I went to school in Port Harcourt. When I was in school in Uniport, he was a broadcaster with the Rivers State Broadcasting, this thing. He was chairman of Sharks, as well as Attorney General of the state. And he played football.
Attorney General?
Yes, he was
Yeah,
attorney. He was
Rivers
a
State.
commissioner, I know, for Rivers State.
Oh, sorry, River State.
Right? So it's a big difference. Those who evolve from playing football to become maybe broadcasters, to become coaches, team is because they're better educated than the rest of
You're
the
right,
guys.
you're right, Alex.
So
because
it's-
the remaining
it's-
guys from that
So I
80
think
team.
it's just the
Yeah.
fact that we've not built our system. I know jobs have become scarce and people have come out of school and people are struggling, and therefore they say, okay, it is bad. But it's also the fact that most people are waving certificates today and not the fact that they're educated. When you get your degree anywhere in the world, what's the citation? You've been found worthy in character and in learning.
Yeah.
Greatest UI.
But what is
I
it we
remember
have? Do we know how to learn? Because when you live, life is continuous learning. You're going to be facing problems. You're going to be solving problems for people. The more you solve problems for people at scale, the more you make money. There's nothing wrong with making money. So there are lots of people who do that. But there are certain professions where can you trade off? If you have a major general, is he going to be extremely wealthy?
In Nigeria, yes.
No, I'm just generally. So let me not use this thing. But because it's a job where no matter the amount of sacrifice that you give, you're giving your life.
But Alex, you said, of course, education can be either formal or informal.
Yes.
So there are some that have informal education.
Yes.
And they don't have proof for that experience. Of course, there are no certificate tied to those ones. Are you saying these people are not going to be so? Because, for instance, shout out to Yadija in Ibadan, Amala Join. That woman has been there for how many years now? Over 20 years.
Yeah.
And that woman understands the business of restaurant. And she doesn't have any formal education. But over time, she has learned the rudiments of how to do that business, right? But she doesn't have a proof to show that I have this education on this. So how do you compare those that are looking? Because at the end of the day, this woman can conveniently employ
educated
a full graduate.
She doesn't need to prove anything. Like Wole Soyinka said, a tiger doesn't have to prove his tigritude. You only need to prove that I have education, a certain skill set, if you're looking for a job from somebody. If I am not looking for a job from somebody and I'm employing people, why do I need to waive a certificate to people?
No, good.
So, in her own context, right, she doesn't need to. Now, for a young person who is starting, because of our environment and depending on where you're starting and the trajectory that you want to choose, you might face a challenge because, it's like you see some adverts, okay? Minimum 2-1 required. It means that if you didn't get a 2-1, you are excluded.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you don't have people who have third class or pass who are not smart. So I always tell people, and this is an example I used to give to my kids and any young people. The way I see it, I say your grades are like a ticket to a show. So there's a show where you have all the big boys, whether it's Davido, Burna Boy, Wizkid or whatever. And they have said before the show that they are going to give 5 people the chance to audition.
Okay.
Right? Now, what do you think is going to happen? They're on stage. The people that will first get the first chance are those that are VVIP because they're in front of them.
True.
So if they give 3 people and all of them, their voices are like cockroaches and frogs, they're going to say, okay, let's go to the next section, right? The next sections are the guys who are in VIP. And if they still don't fight, before they will get to the back, which is it's the same way I tell people about grades, right? Your grades doesn't say that you're fantastic, but it just gives you an edge. So your VVIP is like first class. When they are looking for that company that says, I want to, and they're the first people they will look. When they test and they don't find, they will then say, okay, let's extend to these other guys. So you need to understand the context, the market, and this community. And so, again, rather than feel like a victim, right, what do I do? So what other choices do I have? You're not limited. And I'll give you a real life example, which is funny. After NYC, there's a company that I applied to in Jos. And I went so many times. I tried to get an appointment, it never taken.
Right.
After NYC. But I got jobs somewhere else. Now, fast forward 30 years later, I was appointed the MD of that company.
No way.
I'm telling you, real life.
Are you joking?
No,
Yes.
wow, that's a full circle moment
So
right there.
it's 30 years later. I remember after
Did you accept
NYC,
the job?
No, I did. I actually ran the company for 3 years. But
I like that.
I went, I dropped my CV. I went. I tried. I didn't. I got other jobs. I went, I built myself. Guess what? 30 years later, the company came and approached, we would like you to, and I took the job. So,
Did you tell them this same story?
some of the people I did.
Oh, okay. I'm a bit bothered about the young guys that always call their parents and say, Dad, truly I understand how important education is. But I don't want to go to 4 walls of that school because I can also sit at home, get my certification online and be productive. Why do I have to? And I'm always feeling very comfortable staying in my room, running so many courses. If I have 3, 4, 5 certificates already, that is enough to even make money. How do we balance this?
I think it's important to help them understand the various aspects of education, because even when you go to school, there's the academic knowledge that you pick. There's the capacity to interact with other people, because you're meeting people with different backgrounds. Unlike a secondary school where you have rules, you now have to learn how to deal with different temperaments within an environment where the rules are more lax, and therefore this is how you grow up, because
manage freedom.
You have to how to manage freedom and know where your freedom moves, how to also build networks, because sometimes what it takes for you to have that breakthrough might be somebody putting a word for you.
Absolutely.
Which you have built from
which
your
you have built
university.
sometimes from the people and the interactions that you have. So there's nothing wrong with the young person trying to make money. There's nothing wrong with the young person getting certifications. Or it's just to understand that from a 360 perspective, there's certain skill sets that have been listed from time immemorial that will be relevant and continue to be relevant. One is leadership. You can't build leadership by sitting alone in your distance, because you need to have people that you will influence. The second is working effectively with other people, right? How do I deal with other people, especially when you're going to build something that has scale?
Like your people skills.
Right? So it's emotional intelligence. So these are other things that are critical, right? That can also help. So I think we have to migrate from the point where we're forcing to where we are selling to the children or the younger people why they have to do things. I think when they ask a lot of questions, the natural tendency is for us to be hierarchical. I'm your father and I say so. But funny enough, we're the ones that encourage them to ask questions, and we're the ones that are sometimes happy when my daughter, I told her and she said, why, daddy? And we're sharing the joke. Your daughter is growing up and she's used to asking why. Now she's asking you why, and you're wondering why should she ask you why. So we should learn to sell, right? For people to understand this is what it's all about, and there are trade-offs. So sometimes you might have a trade-off later in life that you don't require. Let's use a simple example. The Minister of Finance during Buhari's time, right, that had to resign over what? It was NYSC. Now, when some people say it's not necessary or whatever, but you know what? This person's graduate is qualified, okay. She wanted an exemption, but maybe at that time she could have gotten it. If she did this service, now some people say, I don't need it. 20 years, 30 years down the road, somebody say, okay, for you to be you need to have this. So you've excluded yourself. Sometimes it's not because you can't. Look, it's not because she's well. It's also the fact that, okay, she wanted to serve. Because sometimes you want to give back, but even the ability to give back can be taken away from you because there are certain requirements.
So if I may ask, as much as I love that policy, I feel it's also self-inflicting, because you're trying as much as possible to promote education. You have polytechnics, you have technical schools, you have universities, you even have part-time. And I'm aware that part-time students don't serve. So are you saying, having spent so 4 or 5 years in school, will limit them because of NYSC in the future?
There's certain challenges, but the reason why I used that was the fact that, like, some people who will have said I wouldn't. Now, if I had to restructure NYSC or say how it should be like, I would do it differently, right? And will I make it mandatory course for you to save if you? No, because at any point in time, it's like simple things. For you to serve in the army, for somebody, you go and buy from. Why is somebody who is going to offer his life? Why does he have to pay for it? There are some fundamental things that you. So we have some problems.
A lot of our viewers, a lot of guys just finished now. Millions of them finished from good schools, I guess very intelligent, but they can't serve, and that's limiting them to, because of course before you get job and of course corporate world, you have to bring in your NYSC and other stuff.
But I was even going to say, sorry to jump in. I wanted to bounce off, just taking us maybe 2 minutes back. I wanted to bounce off what Alex said earlier, which is, yes, universities, interaction, you build character, networking and all, emotional intelligence. But using Nigeria as an example, a number of universities, even federal universities, have started taking back that, organic culture of how a university should be, where you find yourself, you age, you experience things, you understand yourself, you build those networks. They're taking it away. You join associations, like you join a club, or you join the press club, or you join a social club. So I'll use University of Ibadan as an example. I went to UI, and UI has basically cut out all those, will I say, extracurricular, social aspects of it, that it has made it difficult for 100 level students to network, to associate, to congregate somewhere, to have drinks or whatever, just have conversations. And that essence, that organic, is lost in a number of universities, because
especially private universities.
Yeah, and
I don't want to mention names.
Private, but why I'm using UI is because it's a federal university, and that was why a number of federal universities had that pride in the fact that they did not want to put all those restrictions. They wanted you to, find yourself, as I said, grow, let the university. But now, yes, to fight cultism and so many, but it's those restrictions and rules and whatever has kind of put that question that your son was asking, negating that student does not want to go to school. Anyway. I'd rather just do my stuff online when I know I'm not going to enjoy
but
these
things.
Think,
look, some of those skill sets, right? So again, I think just to put a health warning, it's not only in the universities you can get that, or higher institutions.
True.
Right? Because you can build those social skills if you have interactions in other places. I think the point is to understand that there are certain skill sets that are required, especially if you're going to run things at scale. And it's important to understand how to get that. It's also important to understand that there are constant challenges, the systems, and that's the sad part of what we're facing, and probably what is also creating the backlash. Because even for some people who have gone to school and back, the experience might not be something that leaves them to say, okay, I can speak about this. Because just take the normal school environment, you go to some of the public universities and look at the environment and look at the way certain things are done, right? We're giving education a bad name, right? Which is why people are feeling that way. Learning is in various dimensions.
So please, sorry, I'm actually interested in this. The social part of it that you mentioned, I think that's what is actually affecting the younger ones. For the very first time, I want to experience freedom, like you mentioned. So I'm going to school. It's going to be very, very unfair to any young lads that I will get to my school, and the school will instruct me not to use my phone. I can't even do certain things. I also want, now that I'm free, I want to enjoy, right? Which is what all of us enjoyed when we were in school. And we still read, and we still came out with good grades. So what do you think?
I think it's a sad part of those particular institutions. And like I've always said, I will never send my kids to any one of those, because I think that, again, like we say, life is about choices. So you're going to be at work. So the guy has spent 4 years in school. He's graduated with a fantastic degree. He gets a job. Now in his office, he has a phone and whatever. You've stopped him from all of those things. And now he's facing 1,001 distractions because he has a new toy that he's being. that period of 4
He's
years,
inexperienced now.
you're helping people understand that they are going to make choices. Nobody comes to wake you up. There's no alarm bell that wakes you up because you have your first lecture at 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock or 3. If you don't go, you're on your own.
Yep.
Right? You will pay the consequences. Some people have a way of trying to recover, right? They might recover and pass the exams, but they lose the fundamental principles, and much later. That's why you can find some people who have fantastic grades, but they can't apply what they had because they read to pass exams rather than read to understand principles and how they could apply it. So some people think, oh,
a lot of us fall in that category.
this guy read, okay, I read biochemistry. But how come you say he's working in transport? But I tell people, I say, okay, if I want to deal with what is transport, I'm trying to move people and goods around, right?
Yeah.
What is reactions? The atoms, molecules moving here and there to end up in this thing. If I want to hasten the rate of a reaction, what do? I have to find the rate limiting step and apply a catalyst. If I want to fix a traffic problem, what do? I find the bottleneck, and in that junction, is either a flyover, is a traffic light, a mobile. Is that not a catalyst?
Yep.
Is it not the same principles of biochem, this thing that I'm using in traffic
Alex,
management?
beautiful.
So if you understood the principles and the context, you can then apply it in other areas of life.
True.
The problem is that if you read to just pass the exams, then you are very compatible. You can't apply those things. That's the challenge.
On a lighter mode.
Yes.
On a lighter mode.
You can't exercise your brain more.
Biochemistry.
Yes.
Law. Why? No, I don't understand.
Wait, I don't understand.
Well,
you read biochemistry.
I have a biochemistry degree and I have a law degree.
Jeez.
How?
Lovely.
So I did biochemistry in school. I always felt I was going to work in industry, and then I actually started in industry, but I started from production and then I moved into sales and marketing, and I found it exciting. You're working with people and you're finding solutions. But I never lost touch because I always feel that background helped me in critical thinking and looking at what problems to solve.
Right.
And then as I grew in my career, I said, okay, did I want to go back to school? What else can I learn that will make a difference for me? And I've looked at a lot of societies outside, and I think the difference in development between the first world and the third world is actually about the rule of law. So that's why I took an interest in the law to say, okay, can I do something? Can I understand some basic concepts or principles, which has helped me in my leadership journey, because when you understand the concept of duty of care, which is one of the fundamental concepts you learn in law, as a leader, I then have responsibility for my people. Responsibility to train them, responsibility to give them the right equipment, responsibility to ensure that they're managed effectively, they're measured appropriately, and they're supported. I also have responsibility to the organization and the rest of the employees to remove people who are not working hard. So those tough choices, because I'm affected. If we have 50 people working for you here, and one person is destroying the business, before you know it, the 49 people's income will be destroyed. So I will take it, because it's understanding that I have a duty of care to protect the other people.
Yeah.
But in doing that, I also need to do it in a manner that provides an opportunity for the person to rebuild himself. So I'm not going to abuse you, no, I'm not going to put you, but you can't work. However, these are options you can look and do that. So there are certain areas where it's helped me. So it's very strange. People say, what are the true examples? And I never planned to practice. That's why I never bothered about. I said never. I just wanted, actually I wanted to pick some courses. And then one of my colleagues said, why are you just doing a few courses? You can as well do the full degree. And that's how I ended up getting, because I just wanted to stop at a particular stage. Yeah, they will have given me a diploma in law. And I said, I will close it at this stage. But the person said, look, you've started something, just complete it. And which is
I know how busy your schedule can be. How do you unwind? How? No, but you really have to come.
Aren't we unwinding like this?
No, I know. Alex, please. We need to know. How do you
So
really?
there are a couple of things that I do. One, of course, because we play football together.
Okay,
so I've always played football after I started working full time, I always played football when I was in school and things like that. But
Solid.
I think when I started work, I remember one of the first times I was going to meet a friend. You know, my boss had wanted to arrange an appointment with somebody who worked at the British High Commission. So they were playing British High Commission versus St. Greg's Old Boys. So I went to St. Greg's that Sunday afternoon. And whilst watching, I noticed there was a guy, he was probably about 50, 55, 60. He played for about 60 minutes, you know, small pot belly, but he carried himself gracefully. And then there was a guy, a young chap who came. I don't think he was up to 35. He came with a power back, you know, muscles, everything. This guy didn't last 15 minutes. He came out and he was strong. And I then sat outside. I said, who do I want to be like? So that particular week, I got my boss to help me buy a set of trainers. And then I started playing football twice a week. At one point, it went to 3 times a week. And then eventually, as age comes now, reduced it to now once. But then I picked up golf, okay? Because again, I said I have to have something I'm doing when as I'm getting older.
You're planning for your
right. So, and I don't want to be learning something when I'm old, when it's hard for you to pick. So I started it, and I've also found out that golf is one of the games that teaches you about life. You know, it helps.
I've heard that before.
It helps you on personal improvement, patience, and focus and everything. It will. You know, one of the guys I played with today, he told me a story. He said he went for somebody's birthday. He was invited in Ibadan, and he bought their shobi, everything. When he got there, they said he has to have an access card. He said he doesn't have, and the guy. So he called the guy, and the guy said, "Oh, sorry, I forgot. I didn't send it." He said the old him, he will have entered his car and driven back to Lagos. Because whilst they were waiting to get in touch with the guy,
patience.
He would say, why? But he said golf has taught him patience. So he stood, he was smiling, he wasn't bothered. By the time the guy got back to him, they got him in there. So that's the second thing I do. I am learning how to play the saxophone. I'm hoping that one day I will play in a bar and they won't stone me. I won't.
I want to enjoy yourself.
I want this life.
You're just enjoying yourself.
There's only one in life. But I've been on and off. So recently again, I went back to find another school because I started taking lessons in Muzon. Then I moved away to Jos. I came back. My teacher traveled.
Opened that long
term. And then I just said, okay, you know what? I went to one school. I've got their link from it. I think 2 weeks ago. So I went to them. I want to pick it up again and see that hopefully one day I might come and play here and they don't stone me. So if I'm able to get that.
You know, someone said some people are so poor that the only thing they have is money, right? I can see how wealthy you are.
But I don't have money.
No, I'm going somewhere.
Yes.
So your mindset is something that one could take time to learn. If you can learn this man mindset, I can bet you will be successful.
Nuggets.
So your own definition of success is up to you.
Believe.
Right? But what I think I want in life is what this man is doing. He's young to me. He's a very young man. Because how can you do law?
I've learned a lot.
No, it's too much.
I've learned. But I mean, I will use an example of my father. Sorry to interrupt. Again, my dad was a laboratory scientist.
Okay.
UCH. You know, at some point, the 80s, early 90s, Saudi Arabia was asking for a number of our doctors and medical people. Yeah. And
so your
my dad being a socialite and he said no. My dad loves his, and then that year you cannot, maybe now is a bit calmer in Saudi, but you can't drink. You can't, you can't entertain yourself, more or less. So he declined. And my dad, eventually, after laboratory science, being a scientist in UCH for a number of years, retired from it. At the young age of late 30s or 40s, early 40s, I went into hospitality business. My father opened a restaurant, nightclub, and cafeteria, and that's what he did. And he was a fisherman till he died. So I used to wonder, I was like, this guy, what kind of change was, as in science, and you just went to
planning?
Like, I'm not. This is
So if I use a golfing analogy, right? The golf bag, you're allowed 14 clubs. Each of those clubs has a different use, either distance it can go or how high the loft you can get from it.
An eagle
And so
or a birdie.
depending on the obstacle in front of you, you have to make the choice of each distance. So what I always say is that every human being has 14 clubs.
14 what?
14 clubs.
Every human being has 14 clubs.
You have your talents
Wow.
built into you.
Yeah.
The challenge, and you see it in golf, some people master 4 or 5, and for every situation, they will use those 4 or 5. Now, the thing is that you're not using what is the most optimal. You're using what is comfortable for you, because sometimes for us to learn and build expertise, it's a lot of hassle. But imagine if we could all use our 14 clubs to the best of our abilities. I think it will be very different. It's challenging because learning anything takes time. And then once you start, okay, we're comfortable, we want to take the easy way out. So there are a couple of things, maybe growing up, working, there are a few sayings that have always guided me. One was by a former president of the US, Calvin Coolidge. They call him the common sense president. He was a lawyer, you know. He talks about persistence. He says nothing can take the place of persistence, right? The slogan, press on, has always changed the world and will continue to change. Say, look, you have people who are very smart who are derelicts. You have people who have a lot of drive who are derelicts. So different things, right? But the slogan, press on, those who never give up, ultimately would make it. The second is by Einstein. And he says, it's better to be a man of value than to be a man of success, right? So, and because it then gives you perspective about what is success and what is value, right? And I think it also helps if you understand money from that perspective. Money is a means of exchange of value or store of value. If you create value for people, you get more value.
Absolutely.
The challenge is that in Nigeria, okay, people steal money. A lot of people have stolen public wealth, created this thing out of it. So for the younger people coming in, there's no link to what's the value created to the amount of money that you have. But in the real world, money is a means of exchange of value. You create value for people, you get money. When you're serving food, you're solving a problem for people. You serve food at scale, you do this thing. When you make clothes, you're solving a problem for people. You do it at scale, you make money. When you are entertaining people, if you sing in your bathroom, you know how to sing, you don't make money. You sing in front of 1,000 people, you make money, right? You're adding value. So I think that relationship and understanding with
Value and success.
money, value and success, we haven't gotten right. And I think that's what creates a challenge for a lot of people. So for me, look, you have only one life to live, right?
Yeah.
And we should endeavor to make life better for the generation that is coming behind us. So whether at work or anything, I've always thought, how can I make it easier for the people who are coming behind us? So when I hear somebody, I got my PhD in 7 years, why do you want to get yours in 5 years? No. It's a defeatist mentality. You're supposed to make it easier for the younger generation. The fact that it took you 30 years to get to this level doesn't mean it should take everybody 30 years. So what's the essence of the work? It's like they say, why should I work hard and struggle, and then my son has to work hard as well? No, I still want him to work hard, because you need to take this level where you got to the next level, right? So, but the thing is that I shouldn't make you do the same things that I had to go through just to shorten the journey. So that's, I think, there's only one life. Dead body cloth, no, they get pockets. Nobody, they carry anything, go anywhere. So that's the only thing I can say.
Alex, God bless you. Really, enjoyed this session,
Bro,
truly. And
golden nuggets, man.
um,
Wise
and-
words.
I still want us to, I don't know, there's likelihood that we may call you back because a lot of views, a lot of people will comment on this, especially on NYSC, restriction in higher institution, relevance of education, and all of
Yeah.
that. People will comment and they may say, you know what, bring that bros back. I hope they will not talk about golf. Or,
No, wahala.
You don't mind?
No, nothing now. we
Thank
did
you.
now.
Thank you. So this is Urban Life again, and thank you.